Hey everyone, good morning. It's Rebecca, and you are watching Rebecca Undum Live. And as you can see, I'm on location. If you can see, well, what you kind of see mostly in the background is that like tree stump thing there. But if you see beyond that, without blinding you by the sun, you'll see that there's a mountainous formation in the back. I am in Medora this morning with my family, and we're on mountain time out here, so it's actually 8 o'clock this morning here. And I'm also sitting outside of our hotel, so like in public, which it's always kind of funny when I choose to do it this way. But my kids and my husband, they're all still sleeping. If you guys have never been, like my Nodak friends, and hell, my non-Nodak friends, if you've never been to Medora, and like, it's just so quaint. And so like, we can't spend much more than a day out here because we're not like, we're spec people, and we're not, I don't know, but the musical was incredible. And I'll just say that last night, there was one of the coolest. So they always have like a side act, like an additional act, like in the middle of the musical. And last night, they were competitive jump ropers. I'm telling you guys, I took a little video of it. I'll see if it's clear enough to post it today. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. And I sat there thinking, well, there you go. Like, all of us that are out here thinking our dreams are stupid, these people are competitive jump ropers, okay? So it was kind of a little hit of like, oh, God, if they can do this and like make a career out of it, we can do what we want, right? Okay, so morning. Oh no, this is, I'm hoping that I don't have a hard time with connection. I may, so we'll see. Are you guys all still with me? So I see Lorena's maybe on, Cindy's on, Caitlin's on. Can you guys say good morning to me? Just so I know we're not having trouble. I'm gonna wait till they get a comment because I just had patchy internet there for a second. So someone want to say good morning? Just so I know you're with me. Okay, so the Rebecca Undum Live, what we do every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time is we talk about simple ways to live big in your small town. So today, I'll tell you, while I'm waiting for somebody to say good morning, I'm still seeing. Hey, okay, Lorena, you wait. Thank you, friend. That way I know that we're not. And Carly, hey, Carly. Good. I know that you guys are here. That's awesome. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Caitlin. Okay, I think. Morning, Cindy. And Sherry. Hey, everybody. Hey. I think I lost you for a second, but we're back, so we're good. Okay, so what we're talking about today is, so I kind of theme my months. It makes my life easier, and it makes it easier for me to kind of focus content for what we want to talk about. And this month we're talking about change. It's August, which means kids will go back to school, and I just think it's a perfect time for the mamas that send them off, if that's the case. And I don't know, it always just feels super nostalgic to me. Do you guys feel like that? Does August feel like that? Like a renewal of sorts? It's kind of strange, isn't it? Here comes a family coming in to have breakfast. You guys, I do this. I promise you, I come every Monday, and no matter where I'm at, I do it. And sometimes it makes me laugh because I'm like, sorry, people. You look at me like I'm weird. I'm going to drink some gross hotel coffee, too. Ugh. Okay, so August. Does it feel like that for you guys? Like, I don't know. The summer is just super freaking chaotic and great in all the best ways, right? Like, we're on technically a little mini vacay, but I just get excited to get back into a schedule, and then that's when I get this deep down sense of like, I want to change some shit. Like, I want to move the needle and make things happen, right? So I thought it would be such a great month to actually look at. So there was going to be this 4-step process of change. Like, it's a cycle that we're going to look at. We're going to take it one step of this process at a time. And so here's what I'm going to encourage you all to do as we talk about this, is to really think about a change that you either want to make or probably want to. Like, maybe you've tried in the past and it just you haven't made it work. And maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're actually kind of pissed. Maybe you're annoyed at yourself. I don't know. All those shitty things that we feel when we're trying to do something good for ourselves and sometimes things don't work. So as we talk about these over the next 4 Mondays, and we look at each step of this, it's just a cycle. And if I had stuff, I'm going to draw it out. I'll draw it out on next Monday. I'll actually like put it into these 4 quadrants. But it's a process, and once you know it, it's like you can recognize when you're in it, which step you're in. You can recognize, we're going to talk about, there's basically several things we're going to talk about in each little step. And I think this is one of the most important things to understand, because what I feel like, okay, and let's see, we got Sherry saying, I don't know, the change in schedule kills me. Oh God, I know, friend, right? Hey, Mindy, good morning. It's hard, but I think that's the thing. And some of this is informed by some of the changes I've been making in my business lately, but here's what I know. I know that all of you, especially all of you that are on with me here, you want to live a fulfilled, meaningful, purposeful life. How do I know that? Because you're here, okay? The other thing I've come to know deep down about women is that we beat ourselves up entirely too much when things don't go as we perfectly intend them to go. And so I don't want to be a source of shoulds for you. I don't want to be that source of like light a fire under your ass and kick you in the ass to get you to do stuff like that. That doesn't feel good to me. And so I would rather show you ways, like show you things that hopefully will help you, so that when you misstep or you falter or things don't go the way you want them to, that you can look at it objectively and see it the way I would see it if I was standing in front of you. Because the thing is, we're so much more gracious with everybody else than we are with ourselves. And so these tools, these tips, these things that we talk about, my hope is that it can give you that perspective to see like, oh, I'm not actually broken and I'm not actually messed up. I'm just human. And sometimes crap happens. And this cycle of like this process that we're going to look at, it really is designed to help you. So when you misstep, you go, oh, this is where I'm at, and what course corrections could I possibly make? Knowing that it still has to be something you really want to do, okay? So I wanted to lay that down, because if I get soapboxy, if I get preachy, I don't think I'm my best self for you. And this came out of a conversation with my girl, Britt. And if she ends up watching this on replay, I want you to know, Britt, that you're like kind of changing my life right now. In all the best ways. She's just helping me stay true to who I really am, to show up for you guys in the best way that I can. And telling you what to do isn't my best self, okay? Encouraging you is my best self. So this process is not meant to shame you. It is not meant to tell you what you should be doing. It is to give you grace, because this is what real stuff looks like. And again, this is the world according to Rebecca. This is what I think. I think that I can't tell you how to be because I'm not you. Okay, but I can give you ideas. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we got, let's see, Katie, are you still on? Hi, Katie. All right, so I'm going to give two examples. I'll share my journey of two separate examples as we go through this process, because I think it's important to have things to actually relate to and hear that I've actually used this process. So one is losing weight. I hate talking about losing weight. I hate it. It's just a topic I wish that we never had to talk about. But weight is something for me that didn't become a real struggle until I had kids. Of course, like my body, everything just changed so much. And I had gotten to a place where I really didn't like I didn't like how out of alignment my outsides felt with my insides. So that was when I decided, like, I've got to do something. So weight's going to be one example. The second is going to be when I made the decision to become a keynote speaker, like make that shift, that change from being more of a trainer to a keynote speaker. Okay. So we're going to go through, I will share kind of my example. So as I'm telling you this and I'm sharing, and right now we're talking just step one of the process, because we're going to cover one step of this process every Monday through the month of August. I just want to share with you my experience, so you know how it looked for me. But again, in the back of your mind, I hope that you'll be thinking about the change you want to make, or the change that you've tried to make and it hasn't gone well. Okay, so here's the first step is it's really adopting the right mindset, or get your head straight. Okay, because here's it. And then also each stage is going to have what I call hiccups, like the things that get in our way and the things that we might be feeling, and then ideally the strategy, like the thing we have to do to move through this piece. Okay, so the reason it's so important to start with getting your head straight about it is because there are a lot of things that pull at us to make us think that we should do things. And this is why, again, I said I'm not going to shame you into change. Nobody can shame you into change. Okay? So here's the first thing. This is again how your mind is prepared to take on what you've got to do. Here are the 3 hiccups that we tend to come across. Hey, Lori, good morning. Little wave. I love the little wave emoji. It's one of my faves. Okay, number 1, we underestimate the difficulty of changing. A lot of times we think that, well, I want to change, and sometimes it's like, I've seen other people change. It really can't be that hard. And fundamentally changing something about yourself is always difficult. So for me, wait, why did I underestimate the difficulty of changing and getting back to a healthy weight? Because I had been thin before. And before, like, let's say pre-babies or even 5 years earlier, right? My body adapted and adjusted and responded quicker than my older hormonal body did, right? So I underestimated that. I absolutely underestimated how easy or difficult it would be, technically, to change from being a trainer to a keynote speaker, because I thought, I'm comfortable on a stage, like I'm comfortable in front of people. It was kind of a, how hard can this be? Well, I had no idea, okay? But that's the first hiccup. Second is that we're not fully ready to let go of what is. This is something that I think we really need to dig deep on when it comes to health, because we get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like looking in the mirror, you just kind of, and sometimes you could almost call it resignation, maybe. You just look at, like, this was me. I looked at myself and I was like, well, it could be worse. And, I'm not really that, it's not that bad. Like, this is what I've become, and like, I still have things that fit, and I don't look terrible. Like, I did that whole thing, right? And again, it's not about how you look, but it's this mindset of, like, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm really okay with this. And that's the rub, right? Like, we are told that it's that how do you love yourself? Like, find real self-acceptance and then also want to change it at the same time. Well, accepting yourself, like loving yourself, doesn't mean that you're okay with how you are. Like, it's okay to want to change. It's okay to want to get better. So we have to decide, like, are we really fully ready to let go? And sometimes that's letting go of the comfort that food brings us. For me, I found comfort in staying as I was as a trainer. I knew what I was doing. I didn't ever have those moments of being pushed. And I was good with that, right? Because I like settled in. This is what I do, and this is what it feels like. This is what I'm good at. So we have to decide, are we really ready to let go? And then the third is that the hiccup is that we decide we're going to try, okay? We're going to like give it a try, which implies that we believe we may not succeed. It also implies that we think that, well, like, I can give it a try, and if it doesn't work, well then, so well. That's not real commitment, right? So I knew with me, and I had tried all sorts of things, you guys. I tried the keto diet. I had tried, I'm not going to name them because there are a couple of companies that sell like supplements and sell products. I had tried lots of things to seriously no avail. Now, it's partly because I had never fully committed to any of them and said, like, nope, this is it. I'm doing this. It was like, well, I'll try it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then forget it, right? I'd never really had this problem, this hiccup specifically with becoming a speaker, because I had to make some tough decisions that we're going to get to in a minute. Like when we get to the next step of the process, that's when it gets real. Okay, Bev says, if you're serious, you can do it, or excuses. Right, like you can either have results or excuses. You can't have both. And the whole thing is that kind of hard charging thing doesn't always set well with me, but it's recognizing if you're committed to it, even if you falter, you'll get back on track because you have a commitment to it. And that's where we're not gracious enough with ourselves at all. Okay? So here are the things we might be feeling in this first step. The first is loneliness, because we might actually have the feeling that no one understands just how hard this thing is for us. It's that feeling of, it's just like all the things that everyone's telling me I should do about this. No one really knows how hard it is for me. And so to play into that, number 2 is external pressure. This is where I think we try to shame ourselves into changing. Like, I know I need to do this, or I know I should do this, but that external pressure, it has to come from within us. And the best changes don't come from a place of shame and negativity towards ourselves. Like, you can't say to yourself, you're fat and you're ugly, you've got to do something. Enough excuses, you need to do something. That comes from, it's like a foundation of negativity, and that isn't going to work for you. It needs to be, I love myself, I want to honor myself. I haven't loved myself and honored myself through either my food choices or my health, and that's got to change. And I'm going to do this because I love myself enough to do it. Do you see the difference in that? It's a huge difference. So this external pressure is one of the feelings that we can feel, and we feel like we should be doing something instead of really wanting to. And that's when it's not going to work, okay? And the number 3 feeling or emotion is just overwhelming doubt. Like a serious questioning that we're going to be able to see it through. And that again comes back to, if you've tried it in the past and you failed in the past, then that leads us to feel like, oh, there's just no way. Now, I had never tried to become a keynote speaker in the past, so I didn't necessarily have doubt. I definitely felt lonely, because it's a weird thing to decide to want to do, right? So I did feel that loneliness. Didn't feel the external pressure either. I wanted to do it. And that was actually why that shift was easier than weight. Okay, so those are some of the things that we feel in this first place. And so I urge you, I encourage you, as you're thinking about your thing, your change, is asking yourself deep down, why do you want it? How is it going to make you better, your life better? Because this freaking cannot be about other people. And just because somebody says you should get up at 5 a.m. and exercise, or you should exercise so much a day, or you should do this, or you should not eat that, or you should eat that, none of those shoulds are going to do it for you, friends. Like, this has to come from inside. It has to be something that you have determined in your mind first. The mindset stuff, what we're talking about right now, has to happen long before you ever start actually doing the work. You have to want it for you. And you have to say, okay, like, what's the end result here? Why am I really trying to do this? What am I hoping my life will feel like or look like, or how will it be better once I do this? Because otherwise, those external pressures, the funny thing is, all the people externally pressuring us, no matter who they are, if they're gurus, or they're your friends, or they're your spouse, or they're whoever, when you falter, they probably aren't going to be there. And so that's when you're stuck with yourself and your thoughts. And so if you don't have it you're not in the right mindset to begin with, when it doesn't work, you're going to fall. You're going to fall, and then you're going to fall harder, and you're going to be depressed, and you're going to feel like, why did I start this in the first place? And that's, again, the reason you started it is because it was someone else told you to. It's got to come from within. Okay, so the real key to success in this first stage is the decision. So the word decide literally means to cut off from all other options. It's a Latin word. So it's saying, this is commitment, friends, right? This is saying, I'm doing it. No matter what, no matter how long it takes, no matter if I fail along the way, if I fall off the wagon, whatever that wagon looks like, I'm going to figure this out, and I'm dedicated and committed to getting it done. And I think when we approach it like that too, it becomes less about, in 6 weeks, I'm going to be 30 pounds lighter, or whatever the hell it is that you're trying to work on, right? It's about saying, no, this is important to me. I need this for me. And this is why I'm doing it. It's for my kids, or it's for not even for other people, but it's so I can show up as the mom I want to be for my kids. Or, for me, I wanted to show up differently for my audiences. I didn't want to just be a trainer anymore. I wanted to be able to inspire people with words, and that took a totally different approach, required a totally different approach. So the whole thing is, we have to quit selling ourselves short and believing that just because we have struggled in the past that we can't change the future, related or regarding this one thing. Okay, so it's really recognizing, if you really believe you need to change, determining that you will. Okay, so today all I can say is I encourage you to spend some time with this. If this is something, if there's a change that you're really trying to make right now, spend some time thinking about these emotions, that loneliness, that external pressure. Identify the people in your life that might be pushing. Identify any moments or points of shame around the topic for you, and then take a step back and turn them into empowering statements instead. If you feel ugly and unattractive and awful, then how do you turn that around? Like, what is the purpose of caring so much about what you look like? who are you doing it for? And check yourself on this before we start getting into actually doing of it. Get your head in the right place. Adopt the right mindset. That's got to be first. Okay? So that is what I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much always for joining me live. And I will say this too, if you guys are not a part of the Groove Seekers community, that is the place to be. I'm excited about what's to come. Like I said, the changes that I've been making in my business, it all is going to roll out and roll down to all of you. So don't be afraid to join us and weigh in. That's meant to be the place where you can post a question like, I'm feeling blah today, or I'm feeling confused about my life, or I'm feeling awesome. I'm feeling kick-ass and I don't know who to tell. That's what that group is for. So it is yours, friends, to join, and it is yours to use. And the women in there are incredibly supportive and encouraging. So I encourage you today to head out and join. And as always, until I see you guys again next Monday, groove on. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay? Bye, guys.